Alright, is this shit working? A serious face. But yeah, basically what I'm up to now is I'm looking for an alternative to Claude Flow for Kimi code. If here we go, yeah, bingo. All right, so if you've ever used Claude-Flow, then you know how much better it is than how much better it makes Claude code, and and so I want something comparable for Kimi. But what I'm noticing here is that they support AMP and Cursor and Codex and Cloud Code Windsor, everything except Open Code. And I'm wondering, maybe they automatically is compatible with Open Code, and I don't know it somehow, but it's a kind of annoying because Open Code is very nice looking. Although the thing is, I can't tell if using Kimi inside of Claude. I can't tell. I just woke up. I'm literally in my bed. But I can't tell if Kimi's better by itself using Kimi CLI, or if Open Code is better, because I'm not sure. And how could it be better? It could have additional tools built in. It could have things like memory built in. Open Code, that is, and Kimi as well. Maybe using one inside the other or not, breaks these features or overrides them somehow. LM Studios, LM provider. Oh yeah, because Olama is an LM provider. Interesting. Okay. I don't use these anymore. I used to use Olama quite a bit, and I used to use LM Studio too, but I don't use them that much anymore. In fact, I haven't used them in several months, so it's all just either in the browser or in the command line or my phone. Well, I guess let's see. Byte Rover. Super annoying, this whole open code thing, because I'm literally, well, actually it's funny, I'm not using open code. I don't know enough about how these things work, and these things being, again, what I know, open code is sort of a, actually that's a great question. What is open code? Is it an agentic framework? Do you just plug the model into it and it does smart things? Now that I think about it, I'm not even sure. But see, this here on the right is open code. This here on the left is Kimi code. It is a world of difference. What do we got here, though? Yeah, comprehensive master plan. That's right. Why I wanted it though, Claude-Flow integration, because this ability here to just swarm a topic is really great. Please look over the plan once more and identify gaps. When you identify those gaps, then create agents to further research and audit not only those gaps inside of the app, but the best practices that we should be covering them with. We'll see if that does the trick. So you do that one more time. We're running out of context. Let's just stop because we got enough here. I don't want to throw the context into another. I don't want this to carry over to another context window. Yeah, the original plan was for 2024's SEO. That's right. And we're just gonna throw the whole plan review at it. And then here we want to see swarm. Yeah, see we have no, see I didn't even get swarms installed on this. Interesting. We got super memory login, but we don't want super memory. Super memories, you have to pay for that. I'm not gonna pay for these tools right now. Not in a position to be paying for more AI tools. We need more AI tool sales. Is this website just complete? Okay. Well, I'll be honest. I'm a little confused as to why OpenCode is missing from this, but AMP is not. And so it makes me want to try AMP, which is why I had that browser tab open. Here we are. I'm gonna write all my stuff here. Just signing up for AMP. We're gonna sign up for AMP code. Weird. That's weird to me. I mean, is that what's gonna happen to open source stuff? Is that what's gonna happen to open code? Is just gonna become? I don't think so, but it's strange to me that open source software like that doesn't support open source software like OpenCode. Cancel that. Okay, I'm trying to sign in. Let's skip for now. Alright, we're back in AMP, so I'll throw this on. Okay, so we're just going to I used to use Windsurf a bit. That was like my first one that I jumped on. Because they had free AI. You had basically access to free AI, and I was using it. But it wasn't a very good experience for me. And I ended up not sticking with it. Okay, let's get out of here. Okay. I'm gonna do that. Do I want to implement the vision? I prefer reviewing the findings first. Well, I already said plan review, right? Isn't that what we just did? Needs work, yeah. Covering the scope of critical structural issues will cause execution problems. Okay, then let's acceptance criteria, content structure, and semantic chunks. How measured? Can't these linked to it if you get out which entities? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Alright, let's do another review. First of all, let's throw this back on. Okay, secondly, do it one more time. Okay, so this works. AMP. Waiting for connection. Alright, and let's just try run AMP. Hello. connect us. Okay. Absolutely every fundamental assumption about how I work has to be questioned. There are days when it feels like I would be better off if I did not know anything about programming and started from scratch. Yeah, indeed. 21 skills. Okay, UI. Holy UI. Flow Prime. Good. Oh, so it just automatically. But I don't see the swarm. I see Spark methodology. I see stream chain. Skills with errors. Okay. Is there some way that we can fix these? Okay, these are not selectable. Okay, use deep, use free, use rush. There's some. So, mind you, I've jumped from Claude Code now to Kimi and Open Code, and now finally here I'm in AMP. Just because I wanted more tokens. And Claude I can't get any more tokens from Claude. So I'm in here and I'm just like, wow, this is interesting. News, open in browser, thread, AMP help. Prompt Q. Okay. Well, I noticed that I have 21 skills that are loading incorrectly. Can you take a look at this? Tell me why this is happening. Don't modify any code, please. I don't think I have AMP connected to anything, so I'm not sure. Yeah, it shouldn't work. Right. Okay. I don't want to add credits. What I want to do is what I want to use it with Kimi if I can. So basically, yeah, we need to find a way to, at least I'm imagining we need to find a way to connect it to this, connect Kimi to this. No, 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 no. I don't really use Google, but sometimes I use Google. Yes, yeah. I guess maybe I might be a little confused. Maybe you don't use Kimi with AMP. It's not clear. Raising an agent podcast. See, this stuff is just stressing me out. I don't want to know about your agent podcast right now. I'm just trying to fucking use the tool. I want to be making agent podcasts. I'm on my way. I just need this tool. Agents. MD. Yeah, no. So I don't know if this is even like open code at all. Well, it looks nice, you know, for what it's worth. Well, I'm just spinning wheels now. This isn't good. Oh, cool, I can see my messages here. Of course I can. I don't want to do all that right now. Because I'm going to run through $10 in a second anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no mention of Kimi. Ah, I see. I see. I see how that works. Cool. Yeah, okay. I guess this doesn't connect to Kimi. I need to make a coffee. That's what I need. Well, it's 7:30 a.m. It's 7:30 a.m. I'm gonna wait a little bit before I have a coffee. A coffee's kind of like, imagine you're going down like a ski ramp. I'm catching the momentum now, right? I'm catching momentum now. Come 8:30, I'm gonna like have my last touch with the ski ramp, and I'm gonna want a little nitrous for the takeoff. You know what I'm saying? You never wanna trigger the nitrous too soon. That's if I learned anything from Fast and Furious, I know that. Of course, that taking life advice from Fast and Furious, maybe I might want to reconsider. But what you do? Skill format. All right. Rabbit hole, not helping. Cool. Okay, let's try this. Let's pull Kimi into this again, not open code. And let's just find out. Actually, let's find out this way. Because this is the site this is what started it all. Is this plugin compatible with open code? Or is it only compatible with Kimi? This is a interesting question, yeah. So maybe all of these things actually just work specifically with the model, and the open code is just a wrapper on top of that. But then I also assume that the wrapper on top of that would also have tools that work with the model. So it's a little bit confusing. I am new to this. I've been using Claude Code for 6 months ish, but obviously Claude Code is not Kimi, is not open, is not AMP, is not yada 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 yada. So okay, so I can use it freely via MCP. Maybe they don't mention open code because open code doesn't pay them because open code is open source. Communicate to coding agents. Yeah, open code supports MCP. Alright then, let's just install it. Let's get it in here. Now I want this globally too. Where am I? Yolu. I was always using these inside of containers until this actual very moment. I have all this set up inside of dev containers. Yeah, see the Docker setup. This is what I don't have it set up right now. We'll do that later. Oh, interesting. There's a web command, a web UI. Interesting. Cipher mode. Cipher. One should add this. Oh, one shot command. Okay. Okay. These one shot commands were always kind of confusing to me. I'm like, why would you ever want to use the model from the command line? But I get it now. I totally get it. And what's the answer to my getting it? Well, sometimes you don't need to have a long conversation. Sometimes you just need it to do a thing, to categorize a thing, to move a thing, basically, and that way you can control it directly from command line with, yeah, like that. So clear. Tutorial video Claude Code with Cipher MCP. I'm not using that, or I am, but. Watch a quick YouTube video.
Welcome to Cipher, a feature. Then you rush to Claude Code.
I hate these voices so much. Like, this is the problem. This is why I want the whole AI podcast thing, you know, spinning up your agent AI podcast, like, stressed me out because I want to do it because I'm critical of shit like this.
Only to realize it has no idea about the progress you made in Cursor. What if you had a unified memory layer for all your coding? Just plug in its MCP server and you're good to go. Memories for Cipher by preparing a detailed file for the Go, and it's completely open source. With Cipher, Cursor now remembers everything you've done in past sessions, even across different agents. Same with Claude Code. With Cipher, integrating multiple coding agents in your project has never been easier. You can also handcraft the memories for Cipher by preparing a detailed file for their new features. Serious coders like you and me don't want agents to do everything. We want to set specs, rules for the project, like a PRD. That's where Cipher comes in. It acts as your project's bookkeeper, so whenever you start a new session, your agents can instantly retrieve these specs without wasting time or tokens rereading everything from scratch. Let's get Cipher set up in your project. First, head over to Cipher's official GitHub and clone the repo. You'll still need to configure a few things. In Cipher.iml, define your list of MCP servers. For the LLM, Cipher supports OpenAI, Anthropic, OpenRouter, and more. You'll need to specify the provider, model name, and API key. Finally, you can customize the system prompt for Cypher to act accordingly to your needs. Now, let's move on the MCP config for Cypher. To configure Cypher as an MCP server, run the command with MCP mode, Cypher MCP. You can set the MCP mode to either default or aggregator. Both work, but I'm using aggregator here. Depending on your provider, you'll need to add the appropriate API key. In this example, I'm using OpenAI, so an OpenAI API.
This shit is slow. I gotta say, man, Kimi is slow, and that's really annoying. But this is annoying too.
Both work, but I'm using aggregator here. Depending on your provider, you'll need to add the appropriate API key. In this example, I'm using OpenAI, so an OpenAI API key is required. For the vector store, Cypher currently supports Milvus and Quadrant. I'll go with Milvus here. There are a few more vector store config variables. Check Cypher's documentation for full details on those. Test out Cypher MCP. Now the Cypher MCP server is up and running, ready to serve as the memory layer for your agents. Let's test it with Cursor. I'll use Cypher's search tool to retrieve the project's progress. And boom, it correctly pulls up what's been stored in memory. Now,
it's interesting that I need to sign up with vector providers, which would make sense to me off the bat, but there's one of the questions that remains for me is how does Claude-Flow do this? I didn't have to sign up for anything. I literally just plugged it in, and it turned Claude 4.5 into Claude 5.0. You know, all I did was plug it in. What is this? What? Wait a minute, we'll get into this in a minute. Hi, Claude-Flow. Hierarchical navigable small world. Oh wow, interesting. That's super funny. Okay, so Chroma does. Alright, Chroma is one of these. Interesting little. Oh no, Quadrant Milvus. See, I didn't think I saw any of those here. Quadrant. Yeah, okay, no, it's here. And Milvus is too. But why then do they. Let's get out of here. Deep Wiki. Interesting. What was it called again? It's hierarchical navigable small world. HNSW. Goodness. Unicorn breeder. Okay, so this guy's just building all this stuff. Oh, okay. This guy. This guy's killing it. What else we got? HNSW. See, it doesn't. Interesting. It just says HNSW, but it doesn't actually tell you how or where. Like, do you have a provider? Do you just did you just invent it? You know, did you roll your own? HNSW. This is just talking about vector. Oh no, he's not. He's not just talking about vector. He's talking about. Interesting. Well, I guess this is stuff for me to talk to an AI about a little bit, but. Ah, shit, I said chroma. Yeah, that'll fine. That'll be fine. What am I for? Local Alama from. Yeah, so we do have a queen worker. Interesting. We want to. We want to. This whole like multi agent thing. I mean, you know, I have agents and I want to create an agent that closes the gap on the memory, you know, like this is what we need to do. Maybe this is done via hooks, but I don't know how this is done. I just I want Claude-Flow working. um, okay. I already have a llama installed, I think. Oops, I did that again. All right. I guess I don't have Olama on this computer anymore. I used to have it, but I didn't want all those models. I wasn't using them on my computer locally. Plus, I got a better computer for running models locally. It has a GPU that's powerful enough to manage it. MCP. Let's find it. All right. Hold up. Let's see. Like, I can't even properly do new lines in Kimi CLI. Every time I hit a shift return, I get, these weird characters. I know I could probably just set up there has to be some kind of configuration that Kimi doesn't do, or it didn't appear to be, like, it doesn't appear to be a slash command anywhere for this. Oh. I installed Chrome. Interesting, yeah. I already noticed. Yeah. So the instructions here tell me to install ChromaDB, but then down here it tells me to use Quadrant. Okay. Okay, now let's see. How do I know if it's working, essentially? I mean, with Claude Code you can tell because you stop getting stupid bugs, basically. Alright, here, I'll turn the camera. Basically, how do I know if it's working properly? I got all this stuff here. Is it working? Yeah, okay, Kimi's working for